Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. That's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Thursday. It is almost Friday, and for me, that means one day closer to my December vacation week off. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Listen, fingers crossed, everything crossed that everything goes okay between today and tomorrow. Woo! Okay, so got all of that out. I hope everybody's having a great day. Last night I watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We are going to recap. We are going to rant a little bit. This was the second part of Kyle's weed party. So let's jump right into it. They picked up where they left off. They were talking about the makeup ring. I kind of find it, I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else found it hard to believe that Kyle just has no idea of what a makeup ring is. Like, I have never been married in my entire life. But even I knew what a makeup ring was. Kyle has absolutely no idea what it is. I don't buy that. And Erica, listen, I don't believe Erica. Who was it? Cynthia. Now, they keep insisting on putting Cynthia, Sutton's friend. We all know it's Cynthia Bailey. Just put Cynthia Bailey. So Cynthia's talking about piggybacking off of what Erica was or what Garcelle was talking about. Garcelle was saying that, listen, there is life after divorce. And Cynthia was talking about that. And she was saying, I believe everybody at this table can have love. And then Erica picks up on that, and she says that she wants to have one true love affair in her life, like a love affair that you see in the movies, which, listen, the shade ninja that she is, Sutton, in her confessional was like, oh, you had one, like in the movies, except yours was like the reverse Harold and Maude, but you've had it, and they'll probably make it out. They'll probably make it into like a Lifetime movie at some point. But back to Erica. Erica is saying she said that she doesn't want a love affair that is arranged, which I thought was kind of odd. But then she said maybe it was just weird phrasing on her behalf. But then she said she wants a life where she carves out a life and this person fits into it, not like it was with Tom. So maybe by arranged, she meant like everything was arranged before she got there and she just fit in and she had to like change who she was. I don't know, but listen, the part that I'm calling bullshit on is when she said he doesn't have to be rich or poor. Listen, Justin's face. Justin, who's there as Kyle's friend, he's on E. He works on E. His face said the whole thing. As soon as she said, I don't care if he is rich or poor, he was like, oh. And even Anne-Marie was like, Justin, come on. And he was laughing. His face was the whole mood. But listen, I don't buy that she'll take him rich or poor. Girl, he got to be rich. And he got to be a little slightly older. Because from what I understand, allegedly the guy she's in an alleged, relationship with is very, very prominent in Las Vegas and very rich and a little bit older than her. Probably not as old as Tom, but a little bit older. So here's what we were all waiting for tonight. Last night, we were waiting for the matchup that was coming between Denise Richards and Erica. And I don't know, this between Denise and Sutton, what she does afterwards, I honestly thought to myself, did I unintentionally, unknowingly, like, get weed in me? Or what am I hallucinating? What is going on? I mean, did my extra strength Tylenol have something else in them or what? Because this was crazy. So Dorit's like, we missed you, to Denise. We missed you, and how are you happy to be back? Oh yes, I'm happy to be back. Did you miss everybody? Like everybody? You know, stir it up, Dorit. And Denise says, yeah, except I have a bone to pick with you, to Erica. And she asks, the question was, why you treated me a certain way after you met me? So that's not really a proper question. But anyways, why you treated me a certain way after you met me? You were real sweet to me, and then a year later, you were different. And Erica was confused, as was everybody. Like, everybody was confused at this. And they were all like, what were you smoking or drinking before you got here? So Erica was like, can you explain it? And she said, yes, I'll explain it. She didn't explain it. She just repeated everything that she just said. And then she said, do you know what I'm talking about? And she was like, no, I don't. No, I'm sorry. I don't. Kyle asked, for example, like, can you give an example? And Denise says, watch the show. Go back and watch the show. And she just kept saying, watch the show, and then get back to me. Watch a show. Where? How? They're at a dinner party. You're at a dinner party. How are you going to watch a show? And seriously, Crystal could not be more dead on. In her confessional, she was like, watch the show? What are you talking about? What am I on? Like, I just, how are you supposed to, you're at a dinner party. How are you supposed to watch the show? So I don't know. Erica was confused. Erica was like, I'm confused, and my buzz is just gone completely. But she's like, Erica was like, well, I guess I'll apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize. Denise kind of looks like what? Like, what? And then she says, thank you, and you're welcome. What? All right. I just really didn't understand. Even the chef looking out from the kitchen was like, yo, guys, Denise Richards is fucked up. And she was like, she had nothing added to her food. So she had to have either drank something or partook in some kind of, you know, something that grows from the ground or not from the ground beforehand. I don't know. It was insane. So then they get up and they walk out. And when she was like walking in the hallway to the other room, she was just beyond out of it. But then the funniest part was when Dorit was like, is your jacket on upside down? And she was like, what? And she's like, I think your jacket's on upside down. Denise is like, don't do this. You know what you're doing. What am I doing? I'm telling you about your jacket. I think it's upside down. She's like, I don't give a fuck about my jacket being upside down. You know what you're doing. And before Dorit even got in there, Denise was like, that was calling Erica like a stupid, dumb, see you next Tuesday, I would think. So she was off. It was almost 11 o'clock. She would obviously turn into like a wasted pumpkin once it turns 11. So she had to get home. So she got home. But now I think actually even before she left, let's backtrack, because the other craziest thing in this whole episode was Sutton pulling a joint out and lighting it up and smoking at this dinner party. Just out of nowhere. She just pulls this joint up out of her purse and just lights up and starts smoking at the dinner table in Beverly Hills. Okay, see, here's the thing. The reason why that is like, what? Because remember when they were in Vegas and she threw like a big hissy fit about Magic Mike and what was happening on stage, and how she can't be involved with something like this because she is on the board for the American Ballet Foundation. And that wouldn't look good on her as somebody in that, of her stature, in that position. Is this gonna look any better? You're like on national TV, you pull out a joint and you're smoking it. Number one, it's kind of bad manners. I mean, you're all about manners. And number two, I mean, I don't know that the American Ballet Foundation is going to be like thinking that looks like it's great behavior. I don't know. See, that right there is making me think that maybe this like Vegas meltdown, the meltdown she had at Magic Mike's, didn't have anything to do with how inappropriate she thought it was. I think completely that it had to do with the fact that she wore the pants and she wasn't pulled up on stage. I absolutely 100% think that. So dinner is done. Everybody seems to be chilled and unwinding and just, coming down from their weed buzz, and everything's cool. And then here comes Dorit. Dorit has to stir the pot up again. She got to work for that diamond. She brings up Sutton's denial comment, like when Kyle was still in the other room from the episode before, when Sutton and Kyle were talking, and Erica said, "Well, where's our host?" And Sutton said, "Oh, she's in denial about something." So here we go. Here comes Kyle. Kyle's asking, what am I in denial about? What am I in denial about? I wish you would stop gaslighting me and this and that. Oh, that was my cane. I'm sorry if that scared anybody, because that scared the shitters out of me. So let's get back to it. Oh, it scared the hell out of me. So what am I in denial about? You're gaslighting me. I already told everybody at the retreat that it was that this has been a tough year for us. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to tell? Now, listen, I'm going to tell you, when you're on these shows, if you come out and you say, we've had a tough year, invariably people are going to push and ask, what does that mean? What are your problems? I think, honestly, I feel like Sutton is asking because Sutton is upset that Kyle didn't tell her. Like, that's the whole thing. I don't know. I didn't know that Kyle and Sutton were like such great friends that Kyle would tell her all this. So Sutton is like, yeah, is there something going on? And they're talking a little bit more. And Sutton then says, like, I think Sutton had said, okay, I'm fine. I accept that nothing is going on. Okay, let's drop it. Let's move on. But listen, in her confessional, Sutton says that Kyle doesn't like talking about her private life, private things in her life that's going on. True. She's not a big fan of talking about things going on in her life, but she really sure does like to get into it and really push and prod for information about everybody else's. But she doesn't like it when it's done to her. But listen, Crystal, last episode when Crystal said, you guys are both doing the same thing to each other, she's right. Because Kyle is now pushing about her drinking, and Sutton is pushing about, why aren't you drinking? Why are you working out so much? It's really nobody's business on either side, and it's kind of getting a little annoying now. Like, I wish Sutton would just come out and be like, listen, it's out there in the press, all over the place, rumors of Mauricio cheating? What's going on? That's what I would say. I would come straight out and say it. So Kyle brings up Sutton's drinking. And Sutton is like, I know you talk about my drinking. You talk about how I'm an alcoholic, how I drink a lot, and my eating. You say that I don't eat. And she says, you don't. And you push your food around and you don't. And that's when Sutton had said that she has like a problem with her esophagus. She didn't say she has a small esophagus like Kyle and Anne-Marie were joking about later on. She had said she has an esophagus disorder that stops her from being able to eat certain foods. And she had said it got so bad that sometimes when she's laying down, she has trouble like swallowing, even swallowing like her own saliva. So, I mean, that's really nothing to joke about. And Sutton, in her confessional, she was just hurt that Kyle had brought that up and had kind of made fun of it. And I get that. I understand that. But then she goes on to talk about, Kyle, why aren't you drinking? Is it because you were drinking too much before? And Sutton had said, I would never bring that up. But you kind of do. You do. I mean, I'm just saying, you both do it. And Sutton lands kind of a low blow when she says, she says something like, before the crack about the sister, she says something like, I'm tired of fighting with you, or something like that. And then Sutton says, well, you're about to lose a third sister. And everybody was like, oh no. The first thing I thought when she said that was like, are you thinking that you're like a sister to Kyle? Because I don't see that. Like I said, I never really thought those two were even like super close. So that kind of confused me. Well, right after she said that, Kyle was like, go F yourself, leave, go F yourself, and this and that. So Sutton then, Kyle was like, why don't you talk about this? Or Sutton was like, oh, it's about Kathy. And Sutton was like, yeah, I'll tell exactly what happened. So apparently Kathy got upset with Sutton because last year in the press, Sutton really didn't come to her aid. She kind of said, like, somebody had asked her, who's right? Is it Rinna or is it Kathy? And she was like, the truth is somewhere in the middle. So she didn't immediately stand up for and defend Kathy. Kathy, in turn, called Sutton up and started screaming at her. And then Sutton called Kyle and was like, oh my gosh, listen, I completely understand what you're saying about Kathy because I got a taste of that. And Kyle was like, well, you see what I mean? But you couldn't stand up for me at the reunion. And she said Sutton is still friends with Kathy. And Sutton had said, well, I'm friends with Kathy. We have a great friendship and I'm not kissing her ass. Listen, I really do enjoy Sutton a lot, but this isn't a good look for Sutton at all. I don't understand why, if somebody would do that to you, why you would still want to be friends with that person. And Erica, as much as I'm not going to defend Erica a lot, she was kind of right. I mean, I feel like if Sutton stays friends with her, it might just be for the social ramifications, like the social standing. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I could be wrong, but if somebody called and screamed at me like that, I might tell them, you know what, go fuck yourself. Take a long walk off short pier. Screw you, we're done. But, so, I mean, it makes sense if she's just staying in it for the social aspects. Okay, so next up, we got to know a little bit about the new housewife, Anne-Marie. Kyle takes a run over to Anne-Marie's a la Kelly Ben Simone, meaning she's running down the road as opposed to like in the street, as opposed to on the sidewalk that's like right there. I never understood that. So, Anne Marie, so they're talking, they play pickleball. And listen, I'm going to tell you, Anne Marie, I find it kind of odd that Anne Marie is the new housewife, but they haven't done a tagline for her yet. I heard the rumor that they're thinking of possibly demoting her to friend of because of all these because of this allegation that surrounds her husband. I'm not going to talk about it, but there are allegations, serious accusations and allegations against her husband. So we'll see. I mean, but I find it kind of odd that she is a full-timer and she doesn't have her tagline yet. So I don't know. But Kyle says that they're talking and she says that she's upset at how Sutton is just throwing everything out there. And she said she's hurt and she's disappointed. She's really disappointed that Garcelle is doing this since she's had issues with her husband. So they're talking about that. And then they also had brought up Sutton mentioning her sister. She had said that Kyle said she felt like it was a calculated blow against Kyle. And then they talked about Sutton's esophagus issues. And they kind of both, more so Kyle, made fun of it. And now Anne Marie is she a nurse anesthetic? No, I can't pronounce it. A nurse anesthesiologist. You know, she puts in the anesthesia. And so she was throwing around a lot of medical terms. However, I kind of got that she wasn't 100% believing Sutton, which why would you lie about having an esophagus issue? I mean, it can be embarrassing. So I didn't think she was very professional. I'm just gonna say, I didn't think Anne Marie was all that professional. Meanwhile, Garcelle and Sutton and Crystal are having lunch. Those three, listen, out of everybody on the show, those are the three that I could see for real being real friends in the outside and not just like for the show. So they meet for lunch and Garcelle invites Denise. Listen, this is a complete like 360 from the day before, from the weed dinner, because she is not slurring her words. Her appearance looks pulled together and she's fine. Garcelle, I don't know why Garcelle would do this, but she leads off the conversation about Sutton's neuropathy and the fact that she had heard that there are times when it can lead to a foot amputation. And honestly, Denise was like, why would you say that? And Crystal's like, come on, I haven't even had my cocktail yet. And we're totally getting into amputations. Thank God that Garcelle isn't a doctor, because she'd be like, oh my gosh, you have a headache? It must be a brain tumor. That's exactly what I thought. Like this episode, I was really liking Crystal. Crystal was like the voice of reason and comic relief. But Crystal, the question came up of like, why is Kyle judging your drinking when just like last season she was doing the helicopter hair and she was sweeping up the dance floor with her coochie. It's all very hypocritical. Like it's all very hypocritical. You get sober and then all of a sudden you're the queen and you get to judge everybody? No, Crystal I like the fact that Crystal did tell Sutton that, hey, bringing up Kathy was a low blow. I like that Crystal is doing that. Crystal is like the voice of reason and the voice of comic relief this episode, and I liked it. And we found out why Denise was mad at Erica. Listen, this goes back to a few seasons ago. You remember whenever they were having that picnic at Denise's house, and and there were kids there, like her daughters were there, and her daughter's friends were there, and then the discussion about, like, I don't know how threesomes came up, but there was discussion of threesomes, and then Erica said vagina and penis, and the children were there. That apparently is the reason why. That was a while ago. I mean, I guess it's because she maybe had seen extra footage on TV about it, but that's a stretch. I was real surprised. I was real surprised by that. I mean, I was real surprised by that. Okay, next up was Dorit and PK. So, listen, first of all, Dorit mentions in this scene that she thinks that when Sutton and Garcelle bring up somebody else's marriage or personal issues with a marriage, it just seems dirty. So what is it when you and your friends do it? So when you and your friends do it, it's not? I mean, because you guys have the Fox Force 5 in the past had gotten into everybody's business. So I guess you were allowed to do that, but nobody else can ask? Okay, let me just tell you, her bringing up these issues, I mean, Sutton, love her or hate her, she is bringing the questions and she's bringing some drama. So thank God for that. The topic moves to homeschooling. Dorit wants to do it for another year. PK does not. PK is like, no, we're not. And that's it. I can see both sides of it. Like, I understand where you get the socialization, but I can also see Dorit's. I don't have children. If I had kids, I would maybe think about homeschooling as well, just because of a fear of the threat of violence in schools. That's why I would think. But Dorit says that, listen, when you're gone, when he's gone, it's like she is a single mother, and she is the one who deals with the school and the teachers, so she knows what their needs are, as opposed to PK. And PK says, and this is what kind of got me. He had said that the fears that you have after this break-in with the PTSD, they're irrational. And he seemed to be very dismissive of the whole thing. Like, he didn't even care to understand it. Well, of course it's irrational. I mean, that is what happens after any kind of traumatic situation that you go through. I mean, that's your brain. That's how your brain is just reacting, and how your brain feels like maybe it is keeping you safe. I didn't like that. I thought he was very dismissive of her and almost talking down to her. I didn't like that. Next was Erica and Mikey. They had met. They were talking about her performing, and he had talked about there being a Vegas residency. She said that she's been in talks with Live Nation to do a residency. She said she's a big game hunter. She's hunting big game. So obviously the big game for her is a residency on the Chili's side stage in the Strip, where tickets can be bought on Groupon for like $7. I don't know if you can buy them on Groupon, but I had heard that their tickets were like $7 a piece. And then I heard that they were like $1 a piece. Okay, moving on. So last up was Dorit and Kyle. They met, they're walking along, they're talking. And about Sutton, Dorit says that she thinks Sutton's saying all of this because she thinks Kyle's hiding something. Kyle is hiding something. I'm going to tell you that right now. Kyle is hiding something. Kyle's hiding the fact that Mauricio is cheating. Come on, listen, allegedly, but for as long as this, for almost as long as this series has been on the air, there have been rumors that he's been cheating for years upon years upon years. And I think she's also hiding the fact that there's something more with Morgan Wade than she's letting on. That's what I think. And Kim Richards shows up. Listen, Kim Richards shows up. She's painting on the wall, which those paintings, they didn't seem to be too bad. I mean, some of them might look a little terrifying, but then there were a couple that looked kind of nice. But she seems to be doing very, very well. And listen, Kim Richards, I never thought I would say Kim Richards was the voice of reason. Kim Richards was the voice of reason. So Kim met Paris's baby, Phoenix, but Kyle found out about it on Instagram. Not to get into too much family drama, but I know how that feels. That sucks. When you find out about a baby on socials, maybe through like a deleted post. Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. That sucks. I know how that feels. Dolly knows how that feels. It sucks. I get you on that, Kyle. So Kyle's really good with Kim, and she wants to get better with Kathy. And so she was saying, you know what, I got to get back to her, and I got to make things better. And that's why I really feel like that was a low blow. What Sutton said was a real low blow, because this is truly really affecting her, because she's going through these problems with her marriage, and she doesn't have her sister to comfort her. I mean, now her and Kathy are better. But at the time, that would have been a lot. I mean, I could see why she wouldn't want to be depressed, and maybe why she would stop drinking, because, you know, if she has all this going on, problems with her sister, problems in her marriage, I could see where she wouldn't want to drink. I get that. So if you watched this episode, let me know in the comments what you thought. And with that being said, I'm going to get going, because I'm going to get ready for Bachelor in Paradise finale. If nobody told you yet today, I love you. You're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. Please make sure that you take care of one another, and that you, number one, are aware of your surroundings. Number two, please always stay safe. If you made it this far, if you watch the whole thing, put an eggplant. Put an eggplant in, that's the first thing I thought of, in the comments. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.